What's up, YouTube fanatics? Hope you're all doing well. Definitely not me doing an intro to a video after we already ran it on stream. So if you're able to catch the live stream, then you know what's coming. If not, let me give you a little breakdown of the list. So Kamikaze Panda on our Discord page has been, I don't want to say subtly suggesting I play Stalactite Stalker, more like obsessively pinging me every single day, like Stalker, Stalker, Stalker. So decided to run through a league to appease the masses with Stalactite Stalker, which is what we're about to show you. But I wanted to give you a little breakdown of some of the card choices before we got into it so you knew what to expect. So Stalactite Stalker itself, we've played previously in Death Shadow. 1 mana 1/1 for 1 with Menace at the beginning of your end step. If you descended this turn, you put a 1/1 counter on Stalactite Stalker. Descended just means that a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere. Previously with Death Shadow, we were triggering Descend with things like Cycling Street Wraith, cracking Mishra's Bauble, fetch lands. In this particular deck, it's mostly fetch lands, surveil over something, discard something to Frog, or potentially like surveil over with Kaito. So a few less options, but the idea being Stalactite Stalker on turn 1 is a proactive threat that can potentially grow to 3/3, 4/4, something like that for 1/1 or for 1 mana with Menace. Isn't irrelevant. You can play it out on turn 4, descend, end of turn, and then before you pass turn, be able to sack it and kill something off. Gives a little flexibility here and there. I will absolutely say I'm not the biggest Stalactite Stalker believer in the world, but I think it's fair to give everything its opportunity to shine. The rest of the deck, you kind of recognize as the core of, pretty much the core of a Dimir FrogTide list, with Psychic Frog, Counterspell, Force, FrogTide, Subtlety. In this case, a couple copies of Thoughtseize and a Kaito in the main is sort of our flex pieces. Kaito with Stalactite Stalker, another way to enable the ninjutsu with Stalker having Menace. Got some Bowmasters, pushes. Consider over Preordain. I know that Kamikaze is a big fan of the instant speed on Consider as opposed to the extra card you can potentially see off of Preordain. In the sideboard, a couple Harbinger, 2 Stern Scolding, 4 Consign, 2 Thoughtseize, a Surgical, 2nd Kaito. A lot of the sideboard slots, I think, are becoming kind of stock at this point. Things like at least 2 Harbinger, 2 Stern Scolding, 4 Consign, 2 Nihil Spellbomb I'm seeing in pretty much every single list. And then the last like 4 or 5 spots are kind of flex depending on what you think you're going to run into or what you're really wanting to build towards beating in that particular week. So I do think the deck has a nice amount of versatility to it. But if you're looking at being more proactive, perhaps Stalactite Stalker is something that after this league you find some interest in. So let's go ahead and hop on out of here and we'll jump into the live matches. All right, Stalactite Stalker. Trusting you, buddy. Okay. We got Thoughtseize into Counterspell. We had Thoughtseize into Counterspell. All right, please don't bail merc me. A control freak, reformed aggro player here, stumbled across your YouTube videos and decided to try out Dimir FrogTide. Really appreciate the work you put into the videos, super informative. Well, I appreciate you coming by and saying hey. Glad the videos are helping out. Definitely a, pretty exciting archetype. I know that aggro can be very addicting as well when you get to have a lunch break, but something about feeling like you earn your wins is pretty nice too. Uh, sure. Sure. I don't know when I'm going to play this out. It might have to wait until like turn 4 so I can play it out, get the counter on the instep, and then still sack it instep to kill Felia. Went away for a minute, but we're doing the goblin thing. Sometimes you get desperate for content ideas, and that's where we're at. We're in a lame duck modern format until after the ban announcement, so this is what we got. Tried it last night. It was way more fun. Feel like even when I lose, I generally have some fun because I feel like I can always interact somehow. Got tuned up by Domain Rhinos and Boris Energy. Some pretty tough matchups to try it for your first time. But yeah, like that's definitely the key is it feels a lot more like you're not always out of a match or you have a chance in any match. All right, what am I doing? Am I just going Bloodstained Mire pass so I can hold up think just in case? Yep. I kind of figured they had the second Bale Merc when they jammed the first one into the known counter spell. Oh boy. No. Bad dog. Might have to just play out a small Murktide, like let them bounce it. A bigger one. We're gonna have a talk about this magic card. Gotta have a talk about it. Like, was there a time I didn't have them in my opener, right? So I couldn't have played one over a Thoughtseize on one. I had to hold up Counterspell for Baelmerk on two. Turn three, I had the Sync for the Baelmerk. Turn four, drew the other Counterspell. So had to have that for the Baelmerk I knew about. Yeah, I don't think there was a point that I could have just like jammed one out. On the draw vibe, same with Ragavan. I feel like Ragavan's a little bit better on the draw than these Stalactite Stalkers have looked. I could play a Murktide, pump this one to a 6, hit in for 6. Hope that they have nothing. But their Tetramos would be online. I could play Stalker Frog. Probably a little bit better. I can at least attack in with the Murktide. Wonder how Slaktite Stalker works with dress down. What do you mean? Like if it sees dress down to trigger its ability, or because I would assume that dress down would get sacked. Stalker wouldn't see it because these both trigger beginning of instep. Go to game 2. Stalactite Stalker receives ability as dress down, also leaves the beginning of instep. I don't think so. I think since they both say beginning, dress down sack goes on the stack. Stalker ability doesn't go on the stack because the dress down's still there. So Stalker has no abilities. So the dress down would sack. And I don't know if it would wait until the next, not your opponent's instep, but your next turn's instep to trigger it. Dress down, kill Urza Saga tokens. Yeah, it does. Mark, what's up? Stalker, I hardly knew her. Too true, bro. Too true. How does it feel to be a stalker? Pretty awful at the moment. The same as Ocelot Pride. He doesn't see the dress down going away, however, remembers all other triggers before dress down entered. Yeah, I thought we were going off the assumption of just the dress down triggering it. So, like, it makes sense that it would trigger off something it saw before dress down came into play. But if dress down is the thing going away, it doesn't, right? If dress down is the only thing that it would see going away. All right, fetch a land, surveil away or land, draw a land. Show me a Bale Merc. No Bale Merc. Right, it remembers others. The thing is just that dress down goes away first and the stalker's ability remains. But does the stalker's ability only go on the stack if something has procced it? Or does it go on the stack regardless? Okay, Bowman's not bad. Combo. As long as something left before dress down is played, remember that. That's like the entire point that I'm trying to skip. Is I'm talking just Stalker dress down. Nothing else has happened. Stalker's ability doesn't trigger after dress down leaves the battlefield. Right or wrong? Does not trigger for dress down. Okay. Gotcha. All right. What am I playing around? What am I not playing around? Like, if this resolves and they have ephemerate, life sucks. If I subtlety this and they've got like a Bale Merc, life sucks. If I hmm, 3 cards in hand. I didn't play a Bale Merc pre-combat, but I was repping Counterspell. To get rid of. Got rid of another Solitude. I don't want to counter this. All right, I'm gonna make them use the Ephemerate if they got it. That's good. Noodles guy, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the subscribers. Enjoy access to all of our sweet custom emotes. All right. I like getting Kaito down here. We're going to aim for that. What am I doing with Kaito? If they didn't have the Ephemerate, I could go to just stun down the Thelia. That's kind of fine. Also, just 0. Probably the safer option. Got planes into the graveyard. I think I'm just gonna go for the dismember now. I think it's kind of clear they don't have an Ephemerate. Said optimistically. I think I want to do this before they draw a card. Yep. All right. No! My subtlety. You're a jerk. Thank God, right on time. Ah, I was worried. How are we going to end this game without a stalactite stalker? Stalactite stalker, you complete me. Oh, your luck was you never see the cards. Well, apparently I never see them at the opportune times. You're going to surgical extraction my subtlety. I will respond with Bowmaster, shoot you in the face. You may have the surgical extraction on my subtleties. This might just be for info. Definitely not doing much to win the game. Sweet. Ito. Easy, what's up? All right. Need another game like that. Trying to brew hive mind combo decks. Oh boy. We're going like straight 2014 Summer Bloom Amulet Titan. All right, opponent's on a mold of 5, and we have a stalactite stalker. I feel like we can't lose from here. My opponent, how do you possibly beat a stalactite stalker on 1? Spoiler, you don't. Okay. I've got to save this stalker for 2. I've got to thought seize on 1 and look for a Bale Merc here. I can't subtlety now. I've saved the stalker. Stalker's never gonna get his day. I don't know what to tell you. Like, how can you justify Stalker when it's just like not the thing you want to be doing at any point on the curve? What was this gonna do? Stalker ever getting bigger than a 1/1? It gets a 1/1 counter at the end of your turn if you descended. So we could have had a 2/2 Stalker. We just would have had to fetch up like a Surveil land on our own main phase, which looks pretty bad. You never thought about trying Tashana's Tidebinder? I mean, I thought about trying it. I played it several times in Dimir Shadow. There's just not a lot of things you want it against right now. It's really good against Yawgmoth. Okay. Okay. Pandas, this is it. This is it. This is Stalactite Stalker's time to shine. Game 1, on the play, in the blind. Nothing to do but Stalker on turn 1. This is as good as it's going to get. If it's not good here, I don't know what to tell you. Play Stalker. Pass. Let's see what you got, little buddy. And it's in a matchup that is very, very non-interactive. I'll go ahead and fetch to make sure I don't miss it. I'm giving Stalker all the chances in the world to succeed this match. Don't say that I didn't. I can like Bowmaster, ping my own Bowmaster to get a Stalker trigger. Sure, you got mana. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fetch up a Surveil land. Now we don't want no stinking Murktide. We've got a Stalactite Stalker. Resident Madman and Dan of Action, thank you all so much for the follows. Hope you're both having awesome afternoons wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out. Go, go, Power Stalker. Probably not the best match song. Another Goyf has to just be better than Stalker. Maybe. This isn't my idea. Yeah, hit my graveyard. Let me tell you how much I don't care about my graveyard. I'm here to end this game. Oh no, we can't trigger Stalker anymore. Oh no. We might be cooked. Okay. Do we give that to Stalker or we give that to Bowmasters? Stalker broken confirmed. Stalker OP. Gone. You're gone. You're gone. Y'all are gone. Sorry. Get rid of one of you. Get rid of you. I gotta cut one Stalker. Nothing else I want to cut. And Stalker. Is that the announcement at the end of the month? Like Underworld Breach, Ugin's Labyrinth, Guide of Souls, Stalactite Stalker, all banned in Modern. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Damn it. Huh. Is Stalker better than going for Consign on Construct? Probably. Push our own Stalker to trigger Descend. I talked about last game, I can Bowmaster my own Bowmaster to trigger Descend. All lines are on the table with this card. I could like push my own Frog to trigger Descend. I could just evoke Subtlety with no targets and trigger Descend. Talk about absolute busto. Stalker better than no, Mike. Clearly Stalker's just better than anything. True. Argue the facts. Riot of the Elysian Grove. Maybe I should have subtletied that, but probably got back their Saga here. I see why they got back their Saga. All right, well, you can't block it, so what are you gonna do? I don't know if you should laugh or be devastated by the Stalker hate praise. Yes. Yes to both. All right. Saga achieved again. Valakut achieved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't have Titan mana at the moment. Hello, Robot, coming in with the 2-month Prime resub. Stalker hardly knew her. Yes. Yes. You did hardly know her, and for good reason. Plead the fifth to everything. Okay. So opponent's got a Valakut. I'd prefer they don't have Valakut online. So I need to find a fetch land. Fetch land. Well, we'll fly the frog, see if we draw one. If we don't, we're evoking subtlety on nothing to get this fatal push in. But I'd rather not do that. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Now we get Descend, we get Revolt for the push. Do I want to Thoughtseize or do I want to consign the Saga trigger? I kind of wanted to consign the Saga trigger. I think I'm gonna start making some juicy tokens pretty quick. I muted myself. Sorry, I probably coughed at some point. I don't even remember when I got muted. Can you hear me now? Hope that's annoying all of you. Good now? All right. Yeah, I think I coughed. My bad. I was gonna say like Stalker was reasonable, but at the same time it was just like a 2-2 with Menace. So not like some insane the first game, 4-4 with Menace was kind of cool. Stalker kept you speechless. Can't talk trash about Stalker. Alright. Show me a Stalker mirror. Oh. Playing the inferior color. Don't know if anyone's ever showed you this list of Shadow. Is there a list there? Because it's not showing up for me. What was the league result of the spy deck? 2-3, I think. Not good. All right, so opponent got Splinter Twin off of their Thunder Trap trainer. So we're basically dead. Record right now in this one is 2-0. I see a list now. I think this is like the list we played against at the end of last league. I didn't see Seal of Removal, but looks just like the list we played against. They had no, they didn't have Nethergoyf. They had Frog. So they were Shadow, Mockingbird, Frog. Personally, I think Mockingbird is really bad. I get why people run it, because like you want extra copies of Shadow, Nethergoyf, Frog, whatever. The problem is if you have one of those things and it's surviving, you don't really need more copies of it. And if you have a copy of one of those and you go to Mockingbird and they have a removal spell, you're going to have a bad time. I'm going to hang on to this polluted Delta for a second, see if the opponent tries to like jam combo. Nope. Maybe with Frog instead of Mockingbird. Yeah, I like Frog over Mockingbird. Uh-oh. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. Shadow Nethergoyf Stalactite Stalker go. Going a little bit down the rabbit hole there. Flame of Anor, target player draws 2 cards. So am I just going with the Bowmaster here? To like the most obvious spell snare ever. Not. Field of Ruin. Yeah, Field of Ruin. Seems like an aggressive inclusion. That counters anything or not. That list went 3-2. Probably should have been 4-1. Got double veiled summer. Still was looking like a win. No, my bowman. Sure. Bowmaster is dead. Four push, four dismember sounds juicy right now. Sounds like overkill, but I can get the appeal with Ketramos everywhere. Kind of depends on if you think that Ketramos is going to be like tier 0 after Breach goes, if Breach goes. No. Also, what is with all of these, like, is it pile decks today? Yeah, Stalker needing to eat his Wheaties a little bit in this match. A little bit surprised to see him play out the Odawara instead of just go to like channel the Orc army. Sure. All right, gotta go ahead and fetch to trigger this Stalker. I think this has been the worst part of Stalker to me, is just having to main phase fetch over and over to trigger it. I don't like that. I thought they were about to main phase or like draw step the Field of Ruin when I drew the basic swamp, and I was gonna cry. You've got a subtlety. Should have just fatal pushed. Kind of forgot that they were gonna give me revolt. Subtlety can't block Stalker. Yeah, but they were just tapping out and like giving me a free answer to it. feel like I want to take the opportunity to just answer it for free. No shot. Absolutely no shot. Did this stalker just go coast to coast? The hell? 2-2 stalker just cruising on through. Other TD for MVP stalker. Call that boy Stalactite Barkley. Alright, what am I up against? Blue, red, die to stalker, dot deck. Splinter Twin was in there somewhere. I'm gonna trim down on a couple stalkers. Sorry, can use the secret mode to kill the dumb tap creature. What dumb tap creature? What is the dumb tap creature? Going to lose now? Nah. Like, look at this hand. This would be absolutely horrible with Stalker. But instead, we trimmed some on the draw, and like, now our deck functions without Stalker. Do it. Do it, you coward. Oh, that dumb tap creature. Sure. I'm going to let this go. If they want to bolt my frog, that's fine. I can just play another frog. And just save my force. Or trim the most feared card in the meta. Is it the most feared, or is it the most card we found out about like 5 minutes before starting? You've got a Thunder Trap trainer. Going to find in the stupor. Like to keep my frog around for at least a minute. As much as I want to just jam more frogs. Nope. Nice field of ruin. What's it do? The answer was absolutely nothing because I have no basics. You'd be correct. Man, the opponent doesn't have mana to cryptic command us. Playing around the real threats here. Oh, we'll just hit you for 10. That, I guess, technically gives me revolt for push in case that matters. Deceiver Exarch. That can enter. Tap down my Murktide. Seems good. Back in with my frog. No blocks, you say? So if I just take the other Exarch, fatal push this one. Not gonna get combo killed. Yay! Get Exile Grave for Merc. Like, don't forget to in the future. Could have, but tap my Merc down. Don't want to exile my whole yard for a tap down Murktide. All right, Stalker, carry me. Carry me. We're winning a little bit this league. We weren't winning the last league. Stalactite Stalker coming around to save us. Yo, I'm so mad. In Charlotte, I got to my table Saturday morning, and you get like these little competitor badges that are supposed to have your name on them, but mine doesn't have my name. It's just blank. I got to my table and didn't have a badge ready for me, and had to go up to the judges stand, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't have one with your name on it. Here's a blank one." It's like, dang, why y'all hating? All right, no stalker mulligan. Yeah, there were a bunch of people that had it happen when I was up there. Don't know what we're up against. Just throw back the extra subtlety. You got there stolen? Jeez. But brutal. Is this like the 5th Dimir Thoughtseize match I've seen? You could have been a stalker. You could have been a stalactite stalker. But no. You had to be a fatal push. Well, I went to an event in Salt Lake City, Utah, and there was like a 2-hour gap between round 1 and 2 because the staff was having issues running the matchmaking software. I feel like at this point, I kind of expect matchmaking software issues every round. I want to force a negation this. One top, one bottom. At the land. And it is representing Spell Snare. And or Dismember. Mm. Got over there. Got all the stuff, eh? Hmm. I'm just taking subtlety so I can try to find a Murktide at some point. The CMG Clips gifting the tier 1 sub to Clow. Thank you so much. Clow, welcome to the subscribers. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. Enjoy all the sweet custom emotes. And we're just gonna have ourselves like a good old-fashioned race to who sees a Murktide first. Just got here. How are the Slack-Tite Stalkers working out? It turns out that playing a vanilla 2-2 is better than you think it'll be in modern. All the information I can give. Got a frog. Delver ×4 win? Never. Literally never. Come on, Murktide. Come on, Murktide. One time, Murktide. Oh, God. Nice spell snare. Got a 1/1 creature. How many 5-0s will it take from Delver? You could trophy a million times. I'm not putting Delver in a modern list. Like, not only do I think Delver itself is an awful card in modern, my luck with Delver is non-existent. So I have to factor that into the equation. Murktide. Damn it. For Delver, for Rag, for Tamio, for DRC. That sounds like the worst combination of cards I've heard in a hot minute. All right, well, I can cast that. And it works by on 3. Or at least the list that Pandas posted had 3. So that's what we're going with. What's been the most consistent tech I've tested so far? Most consistent tech I've tested so far. Probably just Bowmasters. I think Bowmasters has like the highest floor. But most of like the flex options. No, they beat me to it. Counters. Get these out of hand. That is resolved. Yeah. Howard, I'm back here. Don't you run away from me. No attack, you say. We're gonna have ourselves a standoff. Or do I think I can... God, I really need another card. I guess I can attack him with the subtlety. See if they want to do this whole song dance block. Yeah, they bottomed the subtlety that I subtletied. Alright. FrogTide down. Step one. Yep. I'll save my fatal push in case I can maybe like revolt. Or save my miss in case I can revolt push this subtlety. Really would be a cool time to see one of them there FrogTides. Fear it. Fear it. I guess I can't F6. But I might need to sack it. Please not like this. Please not like this. Have ourselves a bona fide subtlety killer. You could have been a bowmaster. Who's up stalking these stalactites? Any stalactite stalkers in chat? I hate this so much. Gone through 3 counter spells. What's your thought process from deciding whether to hold up counter spells versus playing a threat, new to modern, newer to playing tempo? A lot of it just comes down to like deciding if you're the aggressor or the control player at that particular moment. Am I flashing in this subtlety? I feel like I'm about to get subtlety back. Never mind. The fear of Stalker does it again. But yeah, Clips, to answer your question, it's just about reading like whether you need to be the person doing the aggressive game or game plan, or if you need to be the more reactive player. against decks like Amulet Titan or Eldrazi or stuff like that, you really need to have pressure going. So playing out the creature first, if you can afford to, is a big deal. Where like in a mirror, it's going to wave back and forth, or against some of the more aggressive decks in the format, you're going to be on the defensive end more often than not. So it's going to be a lot better if you can like wait, hold on your counter magic, and play a threat later. Are you boarding out all of the stalkers on the draw or just some of them? Biggest problem with Tamio had been lack of pressure. Definitely fair. What do you think about third stern scolding? I feel like a lot of times when I run more than two, I have the issue of any game I'm on the draw that my opponent's able to resolve something that I would want to stern scolding, like a one drop before I have stern scolding up. I just get too flooded on having them and like not enough threats and interact, or not enough threats and removal spells, too many counters, and I end up just getting like beaten down by something that sneaks in. So I think if I play too many stern scoldings, I just play too passively. Mm, there goes my hero. Sorry, Merc. Yep. Tomato. All right, so we're gonna go fetch up a surveil land. Yeah, I'm gonna fatal push this, so we'll just go ahead and do that. I was considering fetching a surveil and considering instead of going for the push, but I think I just want the untap on an open board. Sure. Nope. Volcanius, what's up? I didn't see you in Charlotte. Oh, you can't use my phrase after I use my phrase. Did opponent mulligan this game? To crush me. That's not very nice. Not very kosher. Hmm. Didn't play a single blue black all weekend. I think I played against 3 Amulet. I played against like dead even split of Breach, Amulet, Black, White, and then sprinkled in like a single Zoo and Boros and Black, White, Ketramos, or not Black, White, Ketro Dominance. Um, I played against one of your Mississippi buddies running Simic Infect in the 10K. You mean one of the guys I literally rode with or stayed with for the weekend? I can pretty assuredly say he's the only person in that room running Infect. All right, show me the subtlety. No subtlety. Show me the sudden edict. But yeah, we kind of gave him a tough time because he played Infect in the main event. Round two got on feature match and just got destroyed by Dimir Oculus. Like, absolutely run over. And then proceeded to end up the first day like 1-6 or something. One in five, 1-6, and decided to play the 10K on Sunday. Didn't work out too well. The entire time we were just like, don't play the deck. Play a different deck, please, for the love of God. And he wouldn't do it. Oh, Boros Control. Are you talking about the. I saw a guy that played against a guy I was roomed with that was on Boros Control with like what all did he have? Blood Moon, Solitude. Um, can't even remember what all was in his list, but it's definitely Boros Control. Yeah, Path to Exile. Probably the same dude. Like kind of bigger dude, bald head. I think. I guess we got to do a prediction real quick. Yes. One of my buddies was playing Black White and played against him. I was like, this is hilarious. Last seen 6 days ago on 4-color mid range. Is this just like Omnath pile? Bro, how do I run into these things? Blue, black, Asmo, Omnath pile. What did I do to deserve this? Got the halfling. Okay, hear me out. One of delighted halfling. One singular delighted halfling. Uno delighted halfling. Fear me. Fear me. Think I care about your Omnath? Oh, Flayed? Sure. I have no idea what this gets. Too scared to sit around and find out. Hunt you down. Go. I don't even care if this wins. I just don't want to deal with this stupid thing right now. Sure. Tell you what, you're not exiling. Kaito! Kaito! Kaito, you beast of a planeswalker. Devilish lad, you. What else was in their deck? Veil of Summer to Fairy Time Raveler. We got Risen Reef, Ewit, Spyro, Four Solitudes. Renin 6. Can absolutely cut the boy. I was gonna cry if they had to turn one halfling again. And sexy. Nope. Why consign? Because they've got Seasoned Pyromancer, Omnath, Solitude, Risen Reef, Flage, Eternal Witness, Endurance, Leyline Binding. Mono ETB deck. And they've got some pretty good ETBs. But for the most part, yeah. Give me a land. Give me a land. Ooh. Kaito. 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 It's off to kill Ren you go. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Kaito. 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 Okay. We might have to tick up Kaito once or twice. I really want him just getting sneak shotted by a, what's it called? Should have ticked up before, but I wasn't 100% sure yet. I don't want to get sneak shotted by like a Rin. I guess maybe they don't have the extra white. All right, all right. Frog's on, and you do have the extra white. All right, let's find an answer to this Flage. I do have Consign as like a last ditch effort. Maybe answer a Flage. How? Go, go, Power Harbinger! Oh boy. Kaito, you devilish Handsome genius of a planeswalker. You'll love to see it. Okay. So what did we think? I'll pay out the victors. All probably like 3 people that believed in me. Eat it, Mirapedo. All right. Prediction. Choose outcome. Hell yeah. Okay. Prediction paid out. What did we think about the list? Didn't vote. Jeez. No faith. FrogTide Stalker. What all did it do? The very first game against Amulet Titan, we played out a Stalker that got up to like a 4/4 that absolutely contributed to killing the Amulet Titan player. Don't cut Stalker short on that one. There were a lot of games where we saw it on like turn 4 or 5 or something, and it didn't look very good. Not to pick it up to a Kaito. I don't think I would want the first Stalker over the 4th Bowmaster. That being said, I don't think you can afford to play less than 4 Stalker if you're wanting them. It's just like so bad if you see it turn 4 or 5 instead of turn 1. I'm pretty anti-Stalker. I think it just relies too much on having to be on the battlefield on turn 1 and getting so much worse after that. Not hearing it's a bad card. I don't think it's bad. I don't think this is the shell for it. Stalker seems better in a deck with baubles. I agree on that. At least like the fetches and the baubles. I just don't think you're triggering Descend enough after like turn 3. Because you kind of want to start not playing out lands. And having to crack them on your main phase sucks so much. Like it makes your Surveil lands worse. It makes Revolt for Push worse. It's just not good having to fetch them on your own main phase. So, yeah, even though it was a trophy with Stalker, I don't think it's going to be an auto repeat item. I'll repeat it again at some point, but I don't think it's going to be like a this is stock for me, keep running it kind of thing. At least that's my opinion at the moment. Got better 1-drops like Nethergoyf, Cameo, and a card Mike's never heard of called Death Shadow. What does that do? Mets, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. Except this is stock for me, should be the clickbait title on YouTube. You want me to make that the title for the YouTube video whenever I post this? Because I'll do it. I'll 100% do it. I love me a good anticlimactic clickbait title. But see, we get the repeat again at some point. Goyf doesn't get bigger and Tamio doesn't pressure. Goif doesn't get bigger, but if it just starts at like a 4-5 or a 5-6, it's pretty solid. Goif is just like Stalker. I don't think this is the shell for it. But if you made a shell for it, it could be a lot better. But I'm going to call it there. We're going to send everybody over to Dingo, who's actually playing TSP Gendrix Esper Ketramos list. So if you're wanting to check that out, feel free to stick around, share some love from the channel. Going to drop a couple links in chat for the Twitter, the Blue Sky, the YouTube, and most importantly, the Discord. If you aren't already on the Discord and you want to come join and talk all things Stalactite Stalker or Dimir in general, then feel free to jump on over. Say hey, love to have you. Other than that, hope you all have a fantastic rest of your afternoon. What was the final league? 5-0. We trophied in the second league. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your evening. Stay safe. Enjoy some good food and company. I will catch y'all back live later. Adios for now.